So this first function I'm going to look at is the audio script to OpenMusic. Audio script is a software from Earcam. I don't have audio script on my laptop, but fortunately the SDIF file will work just as well. So if I bring up my chord sequence and evaluate it, we can see with the default settings what has been output. So the next two parameters after our SDIF file are velocity minimum and maximum. So what that does is scales the dynamics of the original notes coming in to what you give it here. So we can see we get a nice sort of range, whereas if I change that and reevaluate, we can see louder dynamics. And if I bring it down to smaller numbers, we can see we're getting smaller dynamics. And these numbers correspond to these numbers here as part of the score editor, so you can get an idea of what those numbers mean. The next parameter is delta. What delta does is, if we imagine that we're going to organize what notes get let through, this is the sort of the groupings of sort of what sort of how big the net is of what gets grouped into a chord. So as you can see, if I go for a crazy big number, you see we get everything gets kind of bunched together. So it kind of decides what is getting caught in the net. So our next two after the delta is minimum and maximum range for the notes that we're going to get through. So obviously if I want some lower notes in this, the minimum will get lowered. If I want to remove the higher notes, I would change that maximum. So the next one is a microtonal approximation. I don't notice a lot of difference with this one. It might be the type of file I've got. Maybe someone else will have more success with what this does. The last one is a slightly harder one to unpack, an N poly, which tries to reduce the poly notes at the same time by taking the louder partials first. So if we bring this down to 1, and just get the lower notes. And the higher the number, the more that's let through of the original. That was a very quick run through of the audio script to OpenMusic function, and I hope you found that useful.